Hi, I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving, a bit of making money and a bit of just general lifestyle stuff really. So today I thought I would just address a couple of comments that I've had recently. As many of you know, but obviously not all of you, one of my streams of income is selling stuff online, and I mostly sell second-hand items because that's what I can pick up, and because I like the idea of trying to encourage that continued cycle of use and buying second-hand rather than buying something new, because it's much better environmentally, it's kinder to your purse generally, and it often supports charities because I pick up some stuff anyway from charity shops, not everything. So there's a reason that I've kind of focused my attention on that. However, I had two comments recently. One was on one of my, it might have been a haul video or something, I can't remember, but I quite often I'll do hauls because I like to share. So they're not things that I am buying necessarily for myself. Now, some of it I will keep for myself because when I'm out and if I see something really perfect for me, then obviously I'm going to keep it. But oftentimes I am buying something to sell on. But it may seem like I'm constantly buying stuff, because one commenter said, I think, I'll tell you what happened. Let's start at the beginning. So, frugal queen in France, Jane, we have known each other online for quite a number of years. We've never met in person, but obviously we've got a lot in common. We do the same kind of things. We've got the same name, and we have the same kind of lifestyle. So we have stuff in common, and she's very supportive, and she shared one of my posts and said, check Jane's video out and go over and subscribe. And one of the commenters said, I used to subscribe to her videos, but she was just always buying endless stuff. And I thought, oh, is that the impression I'm giving? That it's not very frugal, as she pointed out, to just buy endless stuff. And I thought perhaps she's misunderstood that a lot of the stuff that I buy is to sell, and it's one of my streams of income. I don't have a job. I'm 61. The chances of me getting a job that is worth actually going out to, that I can do, the chance of anyone giving me a job that I can do physically because I have fibromyalgia, are quite small, so it is quite a good stream of income for me. So that's why I do it. But I wondered if she had misunderstood, thought I was just buying endless stuff for myself. And there is a problem with that, isn't there? Because just because something's a bargain, it doesn't mean you should pick it up if you don't actually need it and you have no use for it, and somebody else can make use of that item. It is pointless. It's just as bad in some ways as buying a new item that you don't need. So, okay, it may have less packaging and not being produced from scratch, but it's still wasteful, isn't it? So I kind of understood the comment, but I was also a bit irked by the comment, because I thought, well, surely you know that I'm not buying all this for me. So that's what I want to say. I do hauls every now and then. I don't ever do new hauls. You'll never see me doing a Shein or a haul from one of those Chinese companies. I don't buy from them. I don't want to encourage their continued meteoric rise, because I think they just encourage people to buy mindlessly, and I hope that's not me, and I hope I've not given the impression of that, although I will say that sometimes I am guilty of buying things I don't need because they're such a bargain price. So bearing in mind what I've said recently in recent videos about having to clear my mum and dad's house out and how difficult it was and emotionally draining it was, how long it took, and how it was so hard to get my mum to let things go, and that I didn't want to do that to my own children when the time came. And I was looking into the idea of Swedish death cleaning, which sounds grim, but it's just being realistic, because we all have a finite amount of time on the earth, and I mean, for me, it is important what I leave behind. I don't want to leave my daughters and Justin with a load of rubbish to sort through, a load of files, a load of just junk they don't know what to do with, that maybe have an emotional attachment because they've seen it in my house over many years, but nevertheless have got nowhere to put it. And there's a lot of that, a lot of my dad's workshop particularly, really, that I stood there going, Dad, why the hell have you kept all this stuff? And I also felt guilty trying to find a place for it, and some of it did have to go to the tip. I've mentioned this before, you know, it's difficult because I didn't want things to go to the tip because I don't like throwing stuff away that could be used. I almost everything that I could possibly salvage I did, and in the end it was just me and my siblings, we just had to clear it. So I have gone over this in previous videos, so I won't go into it too much. So there were some things that I could have found a home for that in the end my brother took to the tip because we just didn't have any time, you know. So I didn't want that, and I don't want to just have endless stuff in my house. So buying endless second-hand stuff is not good. And then I had another comment. I think I was filming my office because Mum was here, and somebody, my office is really cluttered. At that point it was really cluttered because it had loads of stuff to list, and she said, do you ever think about just getting rid of something? And I then replied and said, well, it's my stock, so obviously I'm not going to get rid of it because it's my way of making money. And I thought, again, then not everyone understands that that's why, you know, I've got a lot of stuff here, so it is stock. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. And on the subject of second hand, some of you may have seen, I did put it all over my social media, I did an article with Best, and there's me, and the headline is, I buy everything pre-loved except my pants. And actually during the conversation with the journalist, I did actually say, and there are a few other things that I wouldn't like, you know, I'd be worried about a second-hand mattress unless it came from somebody I knew. You know, I wouldn't want to bring a second-hand mattress in because you don't know what's been going on with mattresses, do you? Or if you're bringing in bed bugs or whatever. So I wouldn't do that. And there are one or two other things. I can't actually think of them off the top of my head, but socks is another one. If I saw a second-hand pair of beautifully hand-knitted wool socks, I would buy them. But you don't, do you? And people tend to put their toes through their socks and not donate them to the charity shop. They end up in the rag bag. So, but it was an interesting article. She approached me because she'd seen my secondhand September stuff on social media and knew that I'd done the year of secondhand only. So so it was quite a good article. Even Justin got a little look in there. So 2 pages. Really my aim was to promote the idea of secondhand September, just to give people the idea that you can find pretty much anything you would ever need secondhand because of our society and the way we are really wasteful, and we just buy loads and loads of stuff that then doesn't get used. So I just wanted to spread the word, if you like. But again, I did mention in this that, you know, I buying stuff secondhand that you don't need is also wasteful. And I know some people on my Facebook group, My Secondhand and Frugal Life, have said that they put themselves on a charity shop ban every now and then because they know they won't. You don't tend to go into a charity shop for one thing. It's not like saying, right, I'm going to be really good, I'll go into Home Bargains and I'm only buying the pet food. It's, you don't know what's going to be in there. So you might be particularly looking for, I don't know, perhaps you're looking for a couple of tops, but you know, there's so many things in there that you have to be really determined not to spend money on them. And so putting yourself on a charity shop ban is probably quite a good idea. So from time to time, and I did it early in the year. I just said, no, you're not buying anything else. You've got a ton of stock here. You're going to list this first. I'm not letting myself go and buy anything new until I've listed what's in the house. So anyway, I thought I'd pull out some points of this. So I talk about like a new car, brand new car. You know, I'd never buy a brand new car. As you drive off the forecourt, you're shedding about $3,000, aren't you? So different things I spoke to her about that I'd bought secondhand, the sofa I'm sitting on now. Not everything is secondhand. So the cushions and these curtains were actually new. Almost every pair of curtains in the house is secondhand, but I just couldn't find the right curtains in here. I think I mentioned to you. So I've got the curtains here and curtains down the other end that are long, and I just couldn't find anything. So, you know, don't buy exclusively secondhand, but probably, you know, 95% of what I buy is secondhand, apart from mattresses and knickers. So she was trying to pin me down to how much money have you saved? And I thought, well, I can't say. It's gone on for so long that, and my default position is buying secondhand, that to actually pin a figure on it is almost impossible. I mean, I said it's in excess of £10,000. It's probably much more than that, probably 3 times that. But it also depends how much you buy normally, isn't it? So if you're somebody who doesn't buy much, but you buy, I do a few pieces that are brand new but really high quality, they're going to last you forever, it looks like you haven't saved much money. But you know, compared to somebody who'd buy a load of cheap stuff and have to keep replacing it, then you have saved money. So it's difficult, isn't it, really? So it talks about secondhand September, then it talks about the year that I spent buying nothing but secondhand and how it was a challenge at first. I'm reading now. Prayed nothing huge would break down and need replacing, like the boiler or the fridge freezer. I was worried about the boiler because I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to get a secondhand boiler. I knew I could get a secondhand fridge freezer. The one I've got now is secondhand. I soon caught the bug, especially after I realised just how much quality stuff people throw out, often with the price tag still on because they can't be bothered to get a refund. And you know, that is so true. I find a lot of things that they're pre-loved because pre-owned because somebody's owned them, but they've never worn them. A lot of people imagine pre-loved gear is smelly and fusty, and some of my friends balk at the fact that I buy towels and bedding for a fraction of the cost of new. But once you've chucked it in the washing machine and a hot wash, what's the difference between that and staying in a hotel where the sheets and towels have been shared by hundreds of people? I make this point quite often when people go, ooh, towels, oh, sheets, you don't know who's been sleeping on them. And old beds, and I think, well, you go to a hotel, that is a second-hand bed, isn't it? So, and I also try to buy pre-loved quality now. So again, you know, you can buy endless cheap things that were cheap first. They may not have been worn or used much, but they were still cheap. Or you can try to buy quality things because you still don't want to keep buying and buying and buying. This is my favourite piece of furniture currently. And that was a quality oak sideboard from an auction, which I paid £70 for. We looked at the prices of them and hundreds, £400. So, you know, it was a big saving, but I'm really trying to do that now. So buying things that I know I can upcycling what I've already got, actually, because the most sustainable thing is something you own already, isn't it? You've got it. Try and do amend and try and use what you've got already. So, but it does mean I can buy quality items that I wouldn't be able to afford from new, which is what I say here. And all my clothes are secondhand. At 61, I no longer blindly follow fashion. I buy what suits my shape and the colours I love. Sometimes I think I don't buy what suits my shape because I'm not really a fashionista, but I buy things I like, or I buy things that are practical. I mean, this was a t-shirt that I picked up for £1. Nothing special, just a t-shirt. I want to wear t-shirt and jeans around the house a lot of the time. So she's got my old bedroom. This is actually from when I did an article for my blog that she pinched, where everything in the bedroom, and my bedroom looks pretty much the same now, to be honest, but everything in the bedroom was either already owned by us and upcycled or was secondhand. So the bed was secondhand, the mattress was new, the bedding was secondhand, the cushions were secondhand, the little lamps were secondhand, the artwork was secondhand, the little bedside tables, you couldn't just about see them, and this little chest of drawers I had for years and years and years. They were a honey pine. I think the bedside tables were actually secondhand, I think. I don't actually remember now, but the chest of drawers was definitely new when I bought it, but that was about probably 25 years ago. So I upcycled what Eddie already had. I wanted to brighten it up. I didn't like the honey pine. So I've talked about various other things, and then I was talking about makeup. I find expensive makeup, fancy perfume and toiletries at boot sales that were unwanted gifts or mistake buys, or unused and often unopened. And that is true, and I got that from my mum. So my mum loves a boot sale, and she can't get around them so much now. She's really quite disabled these days, but she would always buy full pots of things like body lotion and shampoo and moisturisers and perfumes. And sometimes they had been used, like the perfume may have been sprayed once, didn't like it. And so they'd stick them in the boot sale bag, and she would get the most amazing bargains. So I did start doing that too. And I definitely am my mother's daughter. And my children are the same now as well. So they've all got the bug, because once you get the bug, and you'll know that if you're watching this video, you probably already got the bug. Once you've got the bug, you can't stop, because you know what you can get for your money and you know how much you can save. And if you're on a budget, it can really be helpful. I don't source secondhand just because money is tight. It also gives me a huge sense of achievement and a warm green glow that I'm helping the planet by reducing waste and reusing items that still have plenty of life in them, but might otherwise end up in landfill. My next job is to replace my carpets, which will be a challenge, and this is true. We've got carpets upstairs which weren't in good nick when we arrived. They're very, very old. The cats have actually scratched them to bits, and because the cats have scratched them to bits, I don't want to replace them with new carpets. Justin's saying that carpets would look nicer, and they would, and I'd love to just be able to get some new carpets up there, but it's so disheartening when you buy something new and the cats destroy it. So if you have pets, it's hard to have like a nice house if you've got pets, especially cats with their claws. So I'm looking for secondhand rugs, and I found one at a boot sale. I think I may have shown you that, which is sitting in the cupboard because I'm not sure which room it's going to go in yet. Plus, I also going to wait till I've decorated. But for the hall and stairs, I'll try and find carpet cast-offs where people have over-ordered and are selling the excess they have left. And I will do that because Justin's sister did it. She found a lot of stuff a lot of carpets. People overbought. And she's done her lounge and her stairs and potentially somewhere else, I can't think, with just bits that she's found on Facebook. So she did it herself. And this is back to the start of my video. Of course, I have to be careful that I don't overbuy, which is difficult when there are so many bargains out there. But my rule of thumb is only buy things that I really need and that I really love. So that's more or less the article. It's Best Magazine. I'd never read Best Magazine before, but it is fun to be on the cover with a load of celebrities. That's probably never going to happen again, although it's happened before, to be fair. I did used to do quite a lot of things like this, because once journalists talk to each other or they see pieces, and once they know that you're up for it, they will approach you. But I found it takes so much time. They're very reluctant to ever pay you anything. And going back to the fact that I have to earn money because I don't have a job, sometimes I think, well, I can't really afford the time to do that. And the journalist who did this was then trying to get me to do a radio show, and I was really stuck for time, and I just thought, I'm not going to do that. One of her colleagues did a radio show, and I did quite a lot of radio when my book first came out, and then because I did that, I got approached all the time by the local radio stations, particularly the BBC. I'm obviously on their list. And I thought, well, I don't particularly enjoy doing that. I find it quite nerve-wracking. It's, I'm fine at it now. I'm fine at it. I can talk, as you can tell. But it takes time. You don't really get anything out of it, or it's hard to measure. So does it actually bring more people to my vlog? Does it bring more people to my blog? Does it actually make more people buy my book? It's hard to say, but I doubt it has very much impact. So because I'm short of time really, and I do lots of different things, I've decided I need to focus on my time better, really, on things that will make me a bit more money. So, I don't make very much, I make enough to get by. I'm not aiming to be some sort of millionaire influencer or anything like that. But, if I'm going to spend time doing something, I do need my monetization to work. So I've decided to reduce my videos on YouTube back to one a week again. I was one for a while, then I went to 2 and 3 even. I did Vlogmas every day up to Christmas. And then I thought, I can do that. I'm going to go back to 2. So I've been doing 2 all year, but and I like doing these, I enjoy doing videos, but the fact of the matter is AdSense through YouTube is pathetic. What you get for the time you put into something is absolutely awful. So I've got 8,000 followers, and unless you've got, 80,000 followers, 50,000 followers, whatever, it's really, really hard for it to make a lot of financial sense. And so you build it, you hope to build it, but actually, I've been doing this for a few years now and I've got 8,000 followers. I'm not going to ever be a huge YouTuber. I would hate to be, actually, the comments you get, but I would like to think that I'd put out two videos a week, and I would feel like that's a decent whack of money coming in, and that I'm not getting paid 50p an hour for doing this, which is probably what I'm getting paid now. So it is a bit frustrating, because I like doing it, as I say, and I like the sense of community, but I think I'm going to have to draw back, because my blog, shoestringcottage.com, I used to just exclusively do that. I didn't do the videos. I did it for a long time, and I think I got a bit bored with it, and I've kind of stepped away from it for a couple of years, but I'm going to get back into it now because it is monetized. I do run adverts on it. I know people get irritated by that, but it does actually make it worth me sitting and researching and writing a blog post and editing it and putting photos up and that kind of thing. So that's what I hope that people will remember when the adverts are popping up and it is irritating, is that you want to come and read this and you want to encourage your favourite content creators in whichever form they're using to create content. So, you know, they do need to be paid. So that is what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to start trying to post at least one blog post a week, at least. I mean, I used to do 3 and I was working full time. I don't know how I did that, but you know, it was, the remuneration was worth it. You know, it was actually worth it at that point. And although there's been some weird updates on Google that have affected search traffic and that kind of thing, which I don't understand, I'm going to just have a go at doing that. So if you fancy giving me a bit of support on that, I have published last night a new blog post, and that's shoestringcottage.com. So come over and have a look at that. So that's all I'm going to say for today. I am getting ready because we are going off on a trip soon. I've got my daughter coming to look after the cats. My daughters, I should say. We're taking the dog with us. So no doubt we'll see a few pictures of where we are and what we are up to on social media. You can find me on Instagram, shoestringjane. As you probably know already, do come over and give me a like over there as well. And yeah, I'll let you know how we get on and what we do. So it is a frugal holiday. I'll give you a bit of an update probably in my next video. I may even make one from there if I've got some Wi-Fi. We'll see. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let me know about your secondhand September, whether you did it or whether you just do secondhand all the time anyway. So, you know, you just enjoy that. That's your default position like me. And what you think about, you know, too many charity shop hauls. Should I do more? Should I do less? Did you understand why I was doing those and that I'm mainly selling on? Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you've watched this far, bye for now.